Hey, it's Jeff Walker, and today I want to talk about something that's counterintuitive, but it's absolutely critical to your success. And this is one of those things that's the more successful you become, the more important this becomes. And it's the idea of retreat. So this is the deal. Last weekend, I did my once a year conference, my PLF Live conference. We had over 1,000 people there. It's just this huge, epic undertaking. We plan for a full year, and then we show up, and it's amazing. It's amazing every year, but this year was especially amazing. One of the treats for me was my parents, who are in their mid 80s, came out to it, and they've seen me on stage one time before, and that was about 8 years ago in a small little conference. And so this is the first time they've seen me in front of one of my conferences in front of 1,000 people, and it was absolutely epic. It's a high energy event. We get people moving. We have a lot of fun, and it's just amazing. And so the thing is, though, is I'm an introvert, and so for 3 days, and it's me on stage for 3 days. It's not a whole bunch of different speakers. It's me on stage teaching and leading for 3 days. I have to turn myself inside out to transform from being an introvert to being an extrovert, because that's my job, is to lead from the stage. And so it was really cool. But now this week, basically, I'm out in the Arizona desert on retreat, because that's what I need to recover. Because if I go crazy for all those weeks leading up to it, and I just then put out huge amount of energy on stage while I'm there, I need to retreat. I need to sort of fold back inside myself and go back into my introverted self. And so the great place for me is in the desert. I love this. So this is a place we come to every year. I take time. I don't talk to my team. I'm not on email. I'm not on my phone. There's lots and lots of stuff, lots of cleanup, a lot of after the event, a lot of things that have to get taken care of. But my team and I put the time in ahead of the event, so that I can take this retreat time, so that so that I can recharge. Because in years past, when I would dive right back into work after this, it wasn't good. I would go into a tailspin, and I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I certainly wasn't happy, and I wasn't at my most productive. So you're like, okay, so Jeff, what does this have to do with me? Because I don't lead these 1,000-person events, and maybe you're not an introvert, and you have to deal with becoming an extrovert for a few days, and what's it got to do with me? Well, the thing is you need to build retreat in. If you're an entrepreneur, you're creating, you're performing at a high level, and the world, or at least your family, depends on you to be creative. I said this last week. It's like, as entrepreneurs, everything we do, we create in our mind first, and you have to be on top of your mental game. And as entrepreneurs, we tend to have this roller coaster where sometimes we're on top of the world, and sometimes we're not so on top of the world. And the more you're on top of the world, the more you win. And one of the ways you do that is by practicing regular retreats. In fact, that's a theme. If you go through my videos, you'll see me in a lot of nice places, and a lot of times I'm talking about how you need to relax away from your business. So, I like to build in retreat every week. It's called the weekend. The rest of the world does it. Why can't entrepreneurs do it? You can absolutely build your business so that you get time away. And the reality is if you look at all that time you're sitting at your computer, it's not all super productive time. If you take some of that time where maybe you're just sitting there checking your stats or looking at your email or checking social media, time that's definitely not really productive. If you take that time, instead step away from your computer for 10 minutes or an hour and go for a walk, do some yoga, get some exercise, sit down and play guitar. So now those are all things that I do. You can do whatever you want. If it's knitting, if it's whatever, some type of sport, some type of activity, it doesn't matter. But build that retreat in. That's why you often see me. On so many of these videos, I talk about meditation and yoga. Those are two of the key ones for me. Getting outside, going for a walk. So I try to build this retreat into really literally every hour. So every hour or the max every 90 minutes, I'm stepping away from my computer for 10 minutes just to recharge. That's retreat. In the evening, I'm stepping away from my computer for the evening. That's retreat. And then every weekend, I'm taking time away, completely time away from my business. That's retreat. Then every month or two, I'm trying to build in a day or two away. That's retreat. And then several times a year, I get completely away like I'm right now. Usually that's after a big event, after a big project. And that's retreat as well. And I know, I've gotten to the point where I have, I've got a great team. I have a great business. I have probably a little more luxury to do these types of things. But really, most of the time when people get super successful, they start taking less retreat. And then eventually they'll burn out, they'll lose their creativity, they'll lose their mental edge, and things start to fall apart. So I suggest you start doing this right from the start. I mean, if you got, I realize some people, I've got little kids running around, I can't take retreat. Well, build in those minutes. And when you have those minutes, don't be running to check your email. Don't be running to check social. That should be your first instinct the minute that you have, like, as soon as you have a spare moment, your instinct shouldn't be to check social. It should be, well, I'm suggesting a great use of it would be to actually take some retreat. So I'm Jeff Walker. If you're watching this anywhere else besides my blog at jeffwalker.com, head on over there. That's where all the goodies are. Scroll down, leave a comment. I'd love to know what you think. Give me a thumbs up.